Welcome to the Saints That Serve podcast,
where each week your hosts dive into the crossroads of faith,
culture,
and the unknown. Christ is Lord,
and the kingdom is now. We are the Saints That Serve.
Welcome back to the Saints That Serve podcast with your hosts, Johnny and
Jairus.
And we're back at it with our creepy season, talking about creepy things.
The spooky season.
Spooky. I said creepy, but I meant spooky.
I wasn't correcting you. We can call it creepy.
Good. All right. Well, if you want to join us for our online Bible study, make sure to reach out to us on any of our socials, or you can email us at saintsthatserve@gmail.com.
That is without an S at the end of serve.
No S at the end.
saintsthatserve@gmail.com.
Episode 3, we screwed up and added an S.
No, it was episode
3.
So I was editing episode 3 today. We corrected. That's the first time we corrected and make sure it's right. My timeline is all off.
It doesn't matter.
It does. You're right.
What matters is the email is saintsthatserve@gmail.com. You can reach out to us to join the Discord channel where we're doing the Bible study. Right now we're going through the book of Genesis. So just reach out. You can reach out to us on Instagram, Facebook, and we have Twitter now.
Is it working now?
It is working now.
Yes.
So reach out to us. We'll have the handle posted in the show notes.
Sorry, I just got a little birdie told me it's not Twitter.
X.
Get it? Get it? Just Twitter.
Yeah.
Birdie. Also, you can go to saintsthatservepod.com. You can check up on, at the bottom, it shows all our different social media sites, link to the YouTube channel. And you can also, if you want to, listen to all our episodes on there as well.
Yeah. And then we're in full swing now with Pray For You Friday. So if you need prayer for anything, obviously you can reach out to us at any time. But our crew will be praying actively on Fridays. So just reach out to us through any of those avenues with your prayer requests. It can be anonymous. You can add names, whatever. We will pray for you. We're not going to put it out on the podcast. We'll just be praying for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, we're going to go ahead and kick it right into the show. And we have today, Jairus.
You remember what I promised at the end of last episode?
What?
You were there. You don't remember?
No.
Yeah, I promised we might, maybe, possibly have a guest.
Do we?
No.
Oh, all right.
Actually.
Well, Janelle.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
You're not a guest. You're not real.
No, we're
just a birdie.
Just a little
little birdie.
Just a little birdie. Now, my younger sister Janelle has agreed to join us today. She is officially our first guest on the pod. How's it feel?
You know what?
That's great.
Did you say what episode number this was?
I did not. But before anyone says it, in front of you is a 20-sided dice.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead and grab it.
This one?
And how you roll it depends on how you get to say what episode this is. Go ahead and roll the dice.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
What is it?
19?
Whoa.
Whoa. All right.
Whoa.
You have to say it as emphatically as possible what episode this is.
Episode 5!
There we
That's
go.
right. We did it.
Yeah.
Wait,
All
can
right.
you...
No, well,
Yeah. Hold on.
technically we haven't done it. We got to get to episode 6.
Oh, right.
It's going to make it past 5 episodes.
So what episode, it doesn't matter what episode it was on, but you talked about how
Oh,
It was-
yeah.
Yeah, I think it was episode 2.
episode 2,
Yeah.
we talked about how episode 5 is the barrier for most podcasts.
Yeah, that's the tombstone.
Well,
So
I guess depends on how well I do on
Yeah,
this
if
episode,
you
if
don't
we're going to
see
keep
it,
going
yes.
or not.
yeah, if you don't see an episode 6,
Blame
you
Janelle.
know why.
Yeah.
All right, so before we get into our spooky topic for this week,
Mm-hmm.
let's get a little bit of background on who you are. What is your relation to Jairus and Johnny? Obviously, besides the biological.
So I kind of consider myself like a mega fan of the Jairus and Johnny cinematic universe.
Hold on. JJCU?
Yeah, I've been around for a while.
We ever create a production company?
The JJCU?
Yeah.
Back in the day, we had Regal Shenanigans on YouTube, and I just made myself available. You know, as a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, I would just be around, you know, in case you guys were filming and you needed someone. So in one of the episodes,
Cleared my schedule.
You know, as my busy 8-year-old schedule. So one of the episodes, one of my drawings is featured. I believe
You were
it is
in that episode,
art.
too.
Yeah, I was sick,
Mhm.
actually. So I look pretty rough, but
I love how you're like, one of my pictures,
Yeah,
and
no.
just completely
My
gloss over
art.
the fact that you were also physically in that episode.
one of my favorite episodes still of Regal Shenanigans is Homeschool, where I get hit in the face over and over and over again.
Yeah, you only see it once in the
Once, but we
we
did
recorded for a solid 20 minutes.
Yeah,
It was like
so
10 takes,
that was fun.
and of like those 10, 9 of them you got hit in the head.
And there was just like a pillow on the ground for me to fall onto.
This is your target.
I went to theater. I went to theater that night, and it was like my forehead was red. People were like, "Janelle, what happened?" I just had a gig, you know. I had a
big-
role that I needed to
Very important.
prepare
Just
for.
Method acting.
Yes, I do have something outside of this theater troupe that I participate in.
But going back even further, before Regal Shenanigans, we have the Family Archive VHSs that I'm featured on.
Oh, man.
Johnny and Jairus's rendition of Star Wars, but it was called War Stars.
I played the very important role of all of the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. We might have to do a rendition of that.
Can we not just find the tape? I can pull that and digitize it, upload
I
it
know
somewhere.
you can,
I
but
don't know where it is.
I think that we need to just recreate it.
You want to recreate it?
Yeah.
My role was Tofu D2.
Tofu D2.
I believe I was like, I don't know. I was still in a diaper. I was just
Yeah,
hanging
you were like
out.
2.
Yeah. But
Baby.
My biggest role ever.
there was
For those who don't know what a VHS is, it is what people used to watch movies on before DVDs came out.
Here's the problem with
big
that statement.
blocks.
If you don't know what a DVD is,
Uh-oh.
It's a flat piece of plastic that kept your movie on it,
it's a solid.
You
yeah,
would
it's a-
put into
what we'd
a
call a
DVD
disc.
a
player.
disc, and then you would be able to watch one movie in a machine instead of that machine playing
This feels so
all the movie. It does. It
to
feels so
explain.
weird.
I'm from the era where I was kind of in between the VHS and the DVD. So, like, we had VHSs, but we also had DVDs, and we still used both.
Mm-hmm.
But I was more closer to the DVD era, so I would use the VHSs, build a throne out of them, sit in the throne, and then play a DVD and watch it.
That's what's funny.
These aren't movies. These are my chair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Minecraft
It
before
became
Minecraft.
obsolete. That's what's crazy. All right, so you've been around during our previous endeavors. and-
Of all of the implications of the JJCU,
Yeah, back when we were Twitch streaming, I
you were on Regal Games.
was on
on
Regal
Regal
Games.
Games.
Some would say that Janelle is the third member
Yeah, I would say that.
of the JJCU.
Yeah, I'm
It's
going to
all-
officially say Janelle is a part of the JJCU.
I made it.
Hold on. Which one is it?
Yes! Thank you. Thank
It
you.
only took, 15 years?
Yeah.
Does this mean I get
No,
paid?
Hard work.
No, you don't get paid.
Hard work pays off.
No, you don't get paid.
Hard work eventually pays off.
Isn't gratitude enough?
I love how this thing that I feel like we will be the most quote unquote successful with is the thing that we are purposely saying we don't want to get paid for this.
The most consistent is the podcast, and this
Yeah.
is the one where it's like Yeah, I don't care if we don't get big.
Yeah,
That's
like
fine.
now, I want to be able to reach as many people as possible,
Amen.
but I don't expect any kind of monetary
Yeah,
gain from this,
yeah.
even in the slightest.
Well, to bring back up what we talked about in episode 1, this podcast, the goal of this podcast is to bring forth Christian content in the communities that are have very few Christians in them.
Yeah.
So our goal is to shine the light of Christ into the video game world, into the cinematic world, and really not like make our own separate thing, but to be a part, like to go into the dark places and shine the light of Christ. So because a lot of Christians get into the like, we're going to start our own film group, but it's going to be our own thing, and we're going to focus on that. So the goal is to not like isolate ourselves from the world, but to shine the light of Christ into the world. So that's the goal of the podcast. It's not to become big and famous or the Joe Rogans of Christianity. It's just to shine light into communities that don't have the light shining
Right.
very bright.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love that.
And I would say this too, is if there was ever any kind of monetary gain, it would be strictly to then put forth back into this podcast, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we're not taking any money home. This is the goal of this is to pour out, not to take in. So if we ever get to a point where we're doing like merch or getting monetized or anything, all of it will go towards missions and the podcast.
Yeah.
So Jairus and I don't take any money home.
Yes.
Just so you know, disclaimer.
Yeah,
Episode
like
5.
if somebody's coming back to this episode and like we're on episode 400 and they're like, hey, you said you weren't going to have money.
And we're right, because
Yeah.
we won't have
We won't have money.
the kingdom will have it.
The kingdom and the ministry, that is the saints that serve,
That's right.
will have money.
If we make it to episode 6.
Stop that.
sorry.
We're going to. That's what we're saying.
Yes, we're going to make it.
I guess next week we got to have some sort of celebration to make it
Episode.
that we
Should have
made
a
it
cake.
past episode 5.
Can we skip that for like 5 episodes and celebrate it?
Just shoot right to episode 7.
Welcome to episode 7. Where's 6? Janelle.
Sorry, my bad.
All right. So you were with us throughout all of our previous endeavors with silly YouTube videos and then with live streams. You weren't a part of the late night live show, right?
No, I was a viewer, and I think I was on set for one of them. I have a
Set.
I have a
On set
faint-
being my
AKA
back room
your house. I think that was the episode where Ezra was on. Maybe I don't know. Someone was on.
We did a lot of episodes for that.
Yeah, the Ezra ended up becoming like number 2
Yeah.
on screen, and then Jordan and Jairus were
Were tech.
Oh, that's
tech,
right.
but they still had cameras on them. But yeah,
I have a faint memory of eating Taco Bell in your living room.
you know what? I'm gonna be honest. Living in that trailer, that was a common thing.
Well, that Taco Bell was so close to your house.
Taco
and it
Bell
was
was
like
close,
there's a
but
Taco Bell and an Ingles near it, and there was nothing else. Maybe a Crystal's.
yeah, but like I'm talking like not 10 or 11 o'clock at night, just people.
It was hopping. It was a hopping
Yeah,
place.
this was before you had children and everything.
Yeah, I'm thinking we need to go back to obviously
Go back to
not-
having children.
Let's go back to the trailer, even though we're in a real house.
Yeah, no, but go back to that. Like people are here, and we're just popping.
Yeah.
No, it was cool.
I would love to have like just people over there, and we have like a audience, and we just have kind of like a mic above them, so picking that up too. You
Like
know
a
what I
laugh
mean?
track.
Like a live laugh track.
And
So
we
it's
just
not-
point.
Get a sign.
hit the wall really hard.
I actually here's a little bit of
Just have
Janelle
guys
lore.
dressed up as Gestapo with the
No.
laugh sign.
Here's some Janelle lore. I was actually a part of a live audience for a game show last summer.
Whoa!
What game show?
It was called Snake Oil. I don't know. I guess I can talk about this. You know that comedian? He was the voice of Cusco.
David
Person who
David Spade.
Yeah, he was the host.
Oh, nice.
Snake Oil. Anyway, so I was in the audience. I got paid to be in the audience, and they seriously had a hype man who, like, every 30 minutes or like every
Yeah.
sometimes they would have a break, and he would get out and he would be like, "Okay, guys, you gotta laugh harder, you know?
So you were there. So
Yeah.
I love this kind of stuff, like the behind the scenes,
Yeah.
the creation process. So you went for one taping. How many episodes did they tape for that one taping?
No, so I was there for 6 days of filming.
Oh, gotcha.
It was like the first day we only filmed one episode because that was like one of the earlier days of filming, so it took a lot longer. I was probably there for like 10 hours, and we only filmed one because they had a lot of stops for tech and things like that. But the more they got into it, then they started filming 2 episodes per day, and the filming days were more around like 8 hours.
Did this show ever air?
Yeah, it's aired. You can see me sometimes, or like I'm in the
Whoa.
I'm in the commercial
Hold
for like
on.
a split second, but
Nate
So you're like
Oil.
You're
What was
like
the premise of
my middle child level popular.
I mean, not to toot my own horn.
I have a child that's in a movie. I'm not going to tell you what movie it is because I don't want you to look at him. But he's in a movie and you see him a lot
Yeah.
in the
It's
movie.
true.
He's a baby.
I will say this: that movie,
Not good.
it's not good.
It wasn't great.
wasn't
But
good.
he was in it.
The book series was great.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, you're not supposed to tell me it's based on the book. No.
Oh no, there's too many.
I bought that movie strictly, like I bought the steelbook, bought the most extensive version of that movie because your son is in it. And I'm like, I watched
Full
it once
celebrity.
with my then girlfriend, now wife,
Ooh.
and we just both watched and we're like, wow, okay, yeah. Yeah, look, there he is. You can tell it's your son,
Yeah.
like a newborn version of your son.
Like you see him for the first time and you're like, wow. And then the next 20 minutes, he's just constantly popping up. You're like,
Well, that's what's
"Okay."
well, it's cool because he is the child version, the baby version of the main character.
Yeah.
And so he popped. You said that y'all went for like maybe a couple hours filming or something like
Yeah, I think that my wife was there for like 4 hours
that.
with him, 4 to 6 hours. But I mean, most of it is, just like the main character's mom holding him.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's a couple of like close ups of just him. But
So like I would have to wear a different outfit each day, and then
Oh,
I
yeah,
would
game
usually
show.
for the game show I would usually have to like have a jacket for one of the episodes and then take the jacket off for another episode. And they would move me around to different seats.
yeah.
Depending on the episode we were filming. Pretty much all of them though, they put me in the front for some reason. So I'm like, if they use this footage, like all of this footage, they're gonna be like, who's this one girl? But you really can't see. Well, this was an interesting setup where the audience was actually the backdrop for the contestants.
Oh.
So we were facing the contestants
See,
back.
They would have kicked me out day one because I'd be in the audience. I'd be going, let's go, Cusco.
Yeah, it was crazy. There were some stars that were like guest stars on there, which was cool. That guy from I don't know actor names. I'm really bad at that.
let's just acknowledge that you and I have been working on media content for, what did I say, 15 years? 12, 15 years?
Yeah.
Janelle has gotten more famous screen time in 1 week
Hold on.
than our 15 years
Hold
of
on.
content.
I myself, besides your son, have also been in a movie.
It's true. That's
You
true.
are
He
in a
walks
movie.
across the stage.
Yeah,
in the
you can
screen.
see me
That
for a
Sinner
few,
movie.
for all of 2 seconds, but I am in it. Footloose.
Heck yeah. The newer one, not the classic one.
It could be, yeah, I'm not that old.
No, I'm in that one too.
Baby Jarrus.
Baby Jarrus. Yeah, you can
Kevin
see
Bacon.
in Footloose, you can see the mom holding me
Right.
throughout the entire movie.
Young Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, I'm young Kevin Bacon.
No, yeah,
You
I'm
look like a younger, less surprised Kevin Bacon. 'Cause that's
Insert-
his face. His face looks like he's just in a constant state of surprise.
insert the Pikachu meme.
Mm-hmm.
Surprise Pikachu.
Anyways, that's cool.
Yeah.
You're in a show.
Yeah, I similar to y'all, I'm real big about, as a believer, not being afraid of spaces that don't have a lot of believers, which
Yeah.
is interesting because our childhood was very much like sheltered Christian, kind of stay in that.
Yeah.
Mine especially was very much like everyone I knew was Christian, but I'm very into the performing arts world.
Yeah.
Actor,
Which is-
dancer, singer.
Pretty dark too.
Yeah.
which is like kind of where Christians go to die. So it's kind of cool to be like, no, I want to go into those spaces and I want to be involved and be like, hey, not all Christians hate you and are horrible. I have standards, but I also am not a bigot or,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's really good. That's the important thing. Like being a Christian and going into spaces that are predominantly worldly.
Mm.
The goal is missions.
Yeah.
It's not to just be there in existence. It's before I go, I'm praying up. While I'm there,
Right.
I'm praying and seeking discernment from the Holy Spirit about what to do, and then when I leave, I'm praying out my way out. So it is important. It is necessary, and we as believers are supposed to be doing that. Really for everything. Like every area of our life should be mission focused. Because Jesus calls us the Great Commission in Matthew 28 is to go unto the world and make disciples of all nations. So everywhere we go, we should approach it with a disciple-making mindset rather than like, it's really worldly and dark. Let's get
I don't
want
to go there.
Yeah.
That's scary. Yeah. Yeah, I got the opportunity to be a part of a touring group with YWAM. Have you talked about YWAM on here?
Not yet.
Okay.
Which
Anyway.
is surprising.
Right?
That I haven't
like a
brought it up
major
yet.
part of
Right.
your life.
Big part of
Yeah.
your life.
Right.
A massive turning point for who
Right.
I am.
Yeah.
Right. 4 years, right?
3.
Yeah, I did 3 years of mission work, full time, but I mean, I'm like a huge advocate for it. Any young adult that I meet is coming out of high school, I'm like, why don't you go and do youth with a mission?
No, literally.
Like, just
Have-
do it.
I have so many kids who come and talk to me about that too, because I serve in my church's youth group, and so I'm like, heck yeah. I mean,
Just do it.
Yeah.
yeah, like just go do.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you want to give an elevator pitch on that, or do you want to save that for, like, have that as a whole episode?
We'll go into it for a whole episode, but if you're a young adult, like about to get out of high school or just got out of high school, just go do missions. Like,
Mhm.
especially something like a youth with a mission, like YWAM, or even, what's the big campus one?
Crusade for Christ.
Crusades
It's
for
called
Christ.
Crew right now. Yeah, my
Yeah,
boyfriend's
Crew.
a part of that. He's done some mission trips.
Crew's really big, and then there's a couple more that are out there. But the idea is it's taking you as a young adult, and you're really hashing out who you are in Christ. You're knowing who God is, who you are in God, and then how to make God known. That's why I love YWAM so much, is because of that. Now, there is a caveat with that. Not every single base is the same. We
It's
are...
decentralized, so it's not like they follow.
Yeah, there's curriculum that's put out and approved by the main YWAM organization, but each base, as far as the culture goes, can be different. So you really got to do your research on that side of it. But take a break from school and really go figure out how to serve as a Christian and make disciples. Learn how to be a disciple maker. And then if you want to go to college, then go to college. That way you have a grounding, your own grounding in Christ, not just what you've grown up with.
So, like a base timeline, like the minimum you can do there is how long? Like, I'm sure you can go back and do it several different things.
3 to 6 months.
3 to 6 months. That is not a terrible chunk out of what you could be doing at college. Like, it's easy.
The idea is that you take half a year off from school.
Mm-hmm.
Go do because it is long-term missions. There's classes and lectures that train you, and then you go out and you apply those things in the field. And the goal is to just get you to figure out who you are in Christ and then apply that in disciple-making ministry. And then you can go back to your normal life into the real world, or you can continue on with that and keep on doing full-time missions. It's either way. But yeah, I would just say just do it. If you're a young adult who's just out of high school or about to get out of high school, stop what you're doing and take some time to do mission work and figure out how to be effective for ministry away from your safety basket. Like your community that you've grown up with is safe. And so you may be a little bit more confident in what you're doing. If you get out of that and get with strangers who are brothers in Christ, but strangers, and figure out how to be companions with them and go and disciple with them, it will really make you effective. And then you'll get more into the mindset of God's leading me. I'm not incorporating God into my life.
Right.
Because that was the biggest thing I learned when I did missions is God's leading me. I'm not trying to incorporate God into my life. I'm just trying to follow. Mm-hmm. And so no matter what I do, be it work a full-time job, do full-time ministry, have my own business like what I'm doing right now, like I'm just doing it for the glory of the Lord. I just want to serve God and I want to make disciples. That's all I want to do. So that's the biggest thing is it will help you get to that point of like, I'm just going to follow God with my life. Wherever he's leading, I'm going to walk that direction. And when he's not leading that way anymore, I'm going to pivot. I'm going to go the next direction.
Right.
Wherever he is, that's where I want to be.
Yeah, and my YWAM experience was specifically performing arts centered. And so we got to have that, how do you go into the performing arts world as a mission field?
Yeah.
And go into those dark places with the armor of God on and ready, being on guard and being ready to preach the gospel in a way that people can receive it. So when we would do street evangelism, we'd be, going out into public places with the goal of telling people about Jesus and about the gospel. And so we would pass these people who were, this one guy in England, he had this giant cross on his back and he was just shouting into the street. And people would not even look at him. Like they would just completely ignore him, walk by. And he had the same goal as us on paper. He wanted to tell people about Jesus. He wanted to, warn them about their eternity and things like that. But we would go out into the street and we would put on music, we'd start dancing, we'd perform, we would draw crowds to us, and then we would send people out in the crowd to pray for them, to talk to them about Jesus. So it was like this, the effectiveness using performing arts for ministry is crazy. And so that was something really cool. It was like, well, we both have the same goal, but how people receive it is really, really different. Mm-hmm. And so that was really cool to kind of go on tour and experience that. Going into schools, going into one time in Luton, which is a city south of London, big refugee city, we got to perform just like in the middle of their square. So we were able to like draw a crowd and present the story in Luke of the prodigal son. So basically showing these people, hey, God the Father is waiting for you to come to him, no matter what you've done, no matter the mistakes you've made. And so that was crazy to just be like out in the middle of the street. And that was something I got to do at 18 years old, straight out of high school because of YWAM. And so it was a really cool experience.
Yeah, and just a quick, I'm not combating you in any way. There's nothing wrong with the traditional street preacher tactic, like as long as you're being faithful. So if God's leading you to do that, do that. But if God's leading you to be a part of a performing arts, which obviously is effective, people like to be entertained. It is very effective. Do that. But once again, it comes back around to following. Like if God's leading you, do it. Because all of heaven rejoices when one soul is saved. So if you're the guy out there and you're spending 10 hours out on the street proclaiming like Christ is Lord, turn and repent, and everyone's just giving you the cold shoulder and people are shouting at you, but one person comes and talks to you and then receives Christ, all that day was not wasted. Mm. Then the same side, if you're out there with a part of a team who's putting on a performing arts show and then you share the gospel afterwards and people get saved, all of it was worth it. Right. The goal is to not go out and be the most effective or most efficient. The goal is to spread the gospel and make disciples. So there's benefit in being strategic and tactically minded. But at the end of the day, you should be a follower of Christ and just follow as he leads you in whatever you're supposed to be doing and be faithful in that. There are some missionaries who their entire life of ministry, they did not see any fruit, but they were faithful in it. and then the fruit poured out from their sowing of seeds. Someone came along later and harvested.
Right.
So, but do missions. Get out there and serve.
TLDR.
Just do it.
And we will.
Wait
I
a
think it'll be good. This is a internal note, but I think maybe beginning of the year, January, we do just a big interviewing a bunch of people.
The month of January, people who've gone to YWAM.
Yeah, just people who have done
When
missions.
Yeah,
does
that'd be
not to try to get on off the schedule and plan of this episode, but what is usually, when do they start throughout the year?
YWAM.
Yeah.
It depends on the base, but and how many schools they do a year, but usually they do it in quarterly increments. So there's usually, if it's a year-round base, they'll have 4 entry-level courses a year. It'll be January, April, September. No, not September. January, April.
I've heard of some starting in June, but there's not a lot that start in June.
Yeah,
A lot of them start in September.
I think normally they'll take a break right in June, but bigger bases will do it June and then September. And the idea is that during the lecture phase, which is 3 months, there's a class there, and then they leave, and then like 2 or 3 weeks later, the next group comes in and starts their lecture phase. So, but a lot of campuses or bases will really only do like 1 to 2 a year.
Gotcha.
Beginning of year and end of year.
Okay.
So, but it really, I mean, I think it's still the second largest international missions organization in the world. So there's a lot of places around the world.
Is that for all ministries or just ones that are geared towards young adults going out?
Well, so YWAM started as a young adults missions ministry, but they have things for people of all ages.
Yeah, there's family schools as well. So you can go with your wife and kids, or you can, as a family unit, go and do missions.
Sure. But you said that that's number 2 in all missions, or just
globally? It's the largest missions organization. It's number 2. Gotcha. I think Cru's number 1.
Oh, really?
I think Cru is technically bigger than Youth with a Mission. Yeah.
That's cool.
Neat.
Anyway.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. You could tell it's neat because the way it is.
That's the greatest.
You can tell that this is an aspen tree because the way that it is. You know.
The family quotes.
Keep going to those garage sales.
Going to those garage sales.
We got to tell that story at some point.
Go ahead.
Right now?
No,
Okay.
we're too off track right now.
Okay, yeah. I'm
We
like,
haven't
where
started.
are we?
Yeah, we are 40 minutes in, and we haven't even started our first topic.
Well, but some of that is going to get cut out.
Oh.
No, all of it. I'm keeping all of it.
Oh.
Entire episode. No, all right, let's get into it. Are you ready for our spooky topic?
I'm scared.
It's not that spooky.
Can I get a drum roll?
Do we have?
Trick or treating.
Ding dong.
Trick or treating. All right. So, Janelle has never experienced trick or treating.
No.
I have experienced it once or twice.
I think I did it every year until I was about 10, maybe. And then once when I was
your
18.
parents stopped caring.
And then once. I'm not going to go there. Oh my gosh.
Miss Savage, I'm sorry.
It wasn't her. And then once when I was 18.
Okay.
Once.
Well,
that sounds like a story.
All right, we're going to give you the background.
Okay.
Yep.
Actually, you know what? No, background after experience. Okay. So, Halloween, 31st of October, happens every year. Growing up, Janelle, what was your experience? Like, what were you taught? And then what did you typically do?
So, Halloween was a bit of a taboo. We didn't celebrate Halloween, but we still did Halloween.
I'm so glad you said that because I have some things to say about that situation.
Yeah, so little Christian homeschooled Janelle would go to Hallelujah festivals.
Okay. Elaborate.
So a Hallelujah festival is basically Christians just saying, well, we want to do Halloween, but we don't want all the dark, evil, sketchy drugs and candy type of things. So-
Drugs and candy?
Yeah, isn't that?
Drugs in candy.
Oh, in candy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never heard of that. But trick or treat, here's your Butterfinger and some.
Is it a Butterfinger or is it meth?
Uh-oh. So we would
Yes.
go to different large churches in the area that would host a festival that usually had trunk or treating, which is basically families would decorate the trunks of their car with like mini games and stuff for you to be able to get candy. So I basically did accept candy from a stranger out of their car, but it was at a church, so I guess it was okay.
It was in a church parking lot.
Right. It wasn't at somebody's house randomly that
Right.
you knock on their front door, so it's got to be okay.
So, as a thriving theater kid, I did love to dress up.
Which can we? Okay, I'm sorry, but just looking at that from the outside in, like, if you trick or treat at somebody's house and they give you something that's bad, like, you can trace it back to them. You know where they live. Trunk or treating, if someone gives you something bad, they're gone.
No, I take note of all the license plates I get candy from.
Not if,
Oh.
what
This
if they're covered up
Butterfinger
with
was
decoration?
A25776.
That's what I'm saying. They like hand out 5 pieces of candy and then they peel out of the parking lot. And you're like, let's hold off on that. Anyway,
Dude, we had our family dominated the cakewalk at those things.
oh yeah, well, there's like 20 of us. So.
Right. So it was like
So when all y'all
cakewalk,
do one cakewalk,
we get all the cake.
you get all the cake.
Just monopolize the water. There's not a single person who's not in our family doing the cakewalk. Guaranteed win.
Yeah, you guys look really similar. Yeah, so
we played the lottery a
cakewalk-
lot.
Cakewalk is like they play. I barely.
I mean, it
remember.
was-
What is it?
was it?
What
It
is a
was-
cakewalk?
They play music.
It's musical chairs, but you win cake at the end.
It's a hybrid of bingo and musical chairs. So you can walk around and then they're playing music. Whenever the music stops, you got to stop on whatever spot you're on, and then you look at it's normally a number, and whatever they'll call out the number, and if you're on it, then you get the cake or pie or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so usually churches would do, like, as a way of outreach ministry to the community, they would do, like, fall festivals around Halloween. And so I would usually go to that. Once I got a bit older, most of my siblings weren't too crazy about it, because, like, the sibling right above me is 4 years older than me. So she was kind of, like, over it, whatever, when I still wanted to do it. So my mom would take me and a friend. Like, Hayden and I went as fairies one year. That was awesome.
For those who don't know, Hayden is Janelle's best friend, who in Arizona, I think one of their family members has been listening in, because we've been watching the stats, and someone in Arizona is listening.
Ooh.
If this person from Arizona is Hayden, hello.
If it's a total random
Love you.
stranger, we love you just as much.
Yeah.
Just,
We love you if you
If
want.
you're not Hayden, find her. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
you know what? Shout out to Hayden. Hey,
Shout out to Hayden.
your name's officially on the podcast.
She was also in a Regal Shenanigans video that never got
Never
aired.
got released. And she still, like, sighs about that whenever I mention that, because she was visiting for a very short amount of time and wanted to, like, visit old friends. And I was like, let's go film this video. She was like, okay, yeah, let's go do it. And then it never got aired.
It might still. I still have everything for it. I'm just
It was-
lazy.
Well, there's still hope.
You heard it here.
I'm lazy.
Anyways, all right, Hallelujah
So
Festivals.
Hallelujah festivals, fall
safe-
festivals.
Safe, controlled alternative.
Yeah. Still strangers, but, church strangers.
Well, okay, but like
My mom was, like, right behind me the
if
whole
I'm doing church ministry, they're strangers to you, the person getting candy, but they have to be a member of the church to
Right.
be able to participate. So if you trust the church you're going to, like, it's an accountable person in the church.
Yeah, so it was fun. You get to dress up still. You get to go play different, like, mini games to get candy. So it's not just like, give me candy. It's usually like a game to win it. One of my favorites was the duck racing, or like the little kiddie pool with little rubber duckies in it. That one was pretty good. And then once I got to be a teenager, I started helping out at those types of things. So
I think I always
That was
had more fun helping than participating in any kind of those children
Mhm.
events.
Yeah.
although I do have one trick-or-treat story. One year, we were going to go to this Hallelujah festival, but it got rained out.
Oh.
And I was so disappointed because I was going to dress up as a farmer, and Mom had literally bought me like this little plastic farmer kit with like a rake and a shovel and stuff like that. And so I was ecstatic. I was so excited. So Dad took me and some of my sisters to go, but then it started raining and it was like, oh, it's canceled. So instead we went to Dairy Queen.
Oh, yeah.
And while we were sitting there, I think we got food.
Can I say it?
Uh-huh.
Halloween isn't Halloween without a DQ blizzard.
There it is.
Halloween isn't Halloween without a DK blizzard.
DK blizzard.
Donkey Kong. Anyway. So we were sitting at the table at Dairy Queen, and the waitress came out. We were like the only ones in there because that's how hard it was raining outside. And this lady came up and was like, hey, if you go up to the counter and you say trick or treat, they'll give you a free ice cream cone or something like that. And I was like, and so I went up with my little farmer costume to the counter and said, trick or treat. And I got free ice cream. So that's the only time I've actually gone trick or
It
treating.
would have been better if the lady was messing with you.
Yeah, I was
That
going to
would
say
have
the
been
same thing.
awful.
She's like,
We don't do that.
we don't. What are you doing? Go back to your seat.
Got pranked.
It just, you look back and it's just me pulling off a mask.
No.
Dun, dun, dun. All right. So, Jairus, what is your experience with trick-or-treating?
I mean, it was, I guess the traditional from ages 1 to 10, just every year you grew up near a neighborhood. And I think I talked about that same neighborhood last week being packed.
Yeah.
And just go trick or treat in whatever costume we'd wear.
Did you make a costume?
No, I think I remember the one year for sure going as Sonic the Hedgehog. That's the one I remember.
With teeth?
With the teeth, yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
Oh.
Creepy Sonic.
Yeah.
Yep. But I mean, just how do I put it? I grew up in a household that wasn't really dominantly Christian. It was my grandparents would pick me up, take me to church, and then come back home. It wasn't until my parents split that my mom got into church, really coming a lot.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a very Christian positive household I grew up in.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm the heathen of the podcast.
Yeah, there was no questions about trick-or-treating. And I'm like, should we not?
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason why I asked about the costumes thing is because our mom would not buy
She would make
costumes for us. No, she would say, you got to make it. Like, you got to put it
gotcha.
together. So that's why the whole farmer thing was rare, because she actually bought me like a little farmer thing and like basket.
Mm.
So that was a big deal, because usually she had memories of doing Halloween as a kid, and her favorite part about it was just looking in her closet and trying to find a costume. So we kind of had the same. I think my very first, let's see, one time I got like a fairy butterfly costume that I somehow convinced her to buy me when I was a kid, and then I convinced my sister to buy me a hot dog suit. And those were the only times I really like had store-bought Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll say this. I didn't go to trunk or treats. I went to houses as well.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. Which maybe you're about to talk about this or not. Maybe not. I'm going to say my 2 pieces of what I feel about
Yeah, do it.
the trunk or treating. I think that if you're going to do an event like that, to supplement, to say, oh, no, don't go trick or treating, and you're saying come here instead, you're still promoting that event in some way. You're not sitting there saying why you shouldn't be out, the demonic side of Halloween. You're just saying come to the church. And I feel like that if you're really going to sit there and say this day is bad for this event, you shouldn't be having any event at all. You should be promoting that this is just a normal day. You don't go out and then maybe a week later have a church event, the fall festival or something like that. Because that was always what it was I saw, was fall festivals. And to me, it was, I wouldn't say hypocritical, but it was like a bit silly and mixed messaging of like the point you were trying to prove by saying, don't go out there and do that. Come here and do the same thing, but not out there.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to get into the history of it. specifically for trick-or-treating. Okay, so, Halloween is a big bear in itself. There's a lot of different things that go on October 31st. But this week we're talking specifically about trick-or-treating. How did it come into be? What's our experience with it? And kind of as Christians, how should we approach it? So the oldest documented, origins of the idea of going from place to place and asking for candy, it spawned from an ancient Druid/Celtic practice called Samhain. And this was a holiday where basically it was like the New Year's coming in, or seasons are changing. So it's the last day of summer. And they would participate in a festival that had to do with spirits, like spirits coming down to the earth or manifesting, if you will. So the idea was they would do these sacrifices, and then they would dress up as the animals that they sacrificed, and they go to house or place to place and request, food, or, and the idea was like, you're giving us food to ward off the spirits so they don't come into your house.
That's crazy.
So that was that's the earliest people trace it back to. Now, when the church starts getting involved and people start converting to Christianity, there's still, and this happens in a lot of different places where the church goes. I'm talking about the Catholic Church specifically here. They still practice their old rituals and festivals and parties. And so the church, rather than fighting that bear, gives replacements. And so, it evolved over time, had a couple of different names, but really when the church got involved, it was called All Hallows Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And this was basically, I think it was Pope Gregory III. He took All Saints Day, which is a day when you're supposed to pray for martyrs and saints that have passed away. He moved it from the beginning of summer to the end of summer, and then that was All Saints Day. The day before that is All Hallows Eve,
right.
And the idea is kids would dress up, and they would go door to door and ask people for food or candy. And then if you gave them food or candy, then they would pray over your house that no spirits would come into your home.
So if you
they would ward off spirits.
The children would?
The children would. Yeah, the children would pray for your home, and then pray for anyone. If you lost anybody that year, they would pray for their soul, basically.
No, they would try to get rid of the children.
No. No, but All Hallows...
Janelle's so honed in on this, I don't think she realized I was joking.
It processed, but it didn't make it to my face.
So All Hallows Eve, the idea was, instead of kids practicing in idol sacrifice...
Thank goodness.
They would still get to dress up. They would go house to house and offer to pray over lost loved ones for their souls. And we haven't talked about this, we'll probably get into it, but the Catholic Church teaches the idea of, why am I blanking on it now? Basically, you can get saved, but then if you go back into sin, like you've got to earn back towards that salvation of going into heaven. So the idea is you go into, it's not hell, but it's a limbo.
Like
right.
Purgatory or something like that?
Yeah, it's purgatory. Thank you. Purgatory.
Yep.
And the idea is if someone dies and goes into purgatory, their loved ones that are still alive can earn repentance for them.
Yeah.
Or penance for them and get them into heaven. And so that's the idea, is that if your loved one died and maybe they didn't make it into heaven, these kids will pray for them on All Hallows Eve, and you give the kids drinks or food.
So you're paying these kids to help save you.
Yeah, to help save your lost loved ones. So that's kind of, and if I'm butchering it, someone feel free to email us, and I would love to hear your insight on it.
We'll bring you on the show. You can explain it correctly.
Actually.
But that's the information I've gotten from it as far as history goes. Now, when we get in, this was brought over by predominantly Irish and Scots to America, and they started practicing, or they would practice it every year, and then it kind of got popular in the 30s in America.
Oh, for sure.
So we haven't had trick-or-treating until like the 30s.
Have you seen those like vintage Halloween costumes?
Those really creepy ones.
Really creepy pumpkin stuff. That's kind of funny.
So, but that's how it started. It started as a church holiday.
Right.
It was a predominantly Catholic practice. And then as our country slowly moves away from identifying as Christians and into this vague, I don't believe in anything, or if I do, it's separate from everything else that I do kind of lifestyle, that's when we really start getting into the demonic, Wiccan, weird stuff that goes along with Halloween now, where we get it. So that's this holiday overall is kind of a back and forth.
Right.
Demonic, church Christian, demonic, church Christian, like people go back and forth to where we're at today. And I wrote this down in the notes, and it was in an article I read from Focus on the Family. Really good article, I think. We'll share it in the post notes. But Christians have three options when it comes to trick-or-treating. You can either embrace it, which is not really a good reason, like just embracing Halloween as an evil, dark holiday. Not really a good reason as a Christian, like you don't embrace it. But you can either embrace it, you can reject it, have nothing to do with it, totally ignore it and do nothing about it, or redeem it and make it about God. How can I disciple others through this holiday? People are coming to my house to get candy. Okay, then let me offer to pray for them when I give them candy. Let me ask them how they're doing and if I can be praying for them, or offering to give out Bibles with candy. Some kids, they're not in a Christian household, and it's not because their parents are anti-Christian, it's because their parents are complacent and don't care. And so offering a kid a Bible, their parents are probably going to be okay with that. And that's probably the only Bible in their house. So they don't even know, so that's huge. But, that's kind of where we're at today. Vast majority of people that aren't going to church, it's not that they don't have a problem with God. It's that somewhere along the line in the past 20 years, their family just stopped going to church. And so they may acknowledge the existence of God, but they're not really following him, and they don't really know him. And so they're okay with it. It's whatever to them. It's just not, their life is not all about Jesus, like we're called as Christians to be. Our lives are supposed to be about Christ, because Christ died for us so that we could live for him. And so, as a Christian, you can participate in trick-or-treating in the sense of let's redeem it for Christ. Let's make it a missional opportunity. So I thought that was really good. But I have some stats that have to do with Halloween.
We love numbers.
Okay, I want you guys...
Good numbers.
I want you to guess what was projected spending for Halloween for 2023. How much do you think the country of America was going to spend on Halloween?
So this is total candy, decorations, the electric costumes, electric bill for all these lights they have on their house.
The inflatable,
and this is all across America.
Skeleton.
Yep.
All right, I'll let you go first, Chanel, and I'll tell you the correct answer.
It's going to be a really big number. People like to spend money. I'm going to be bold and say $1 billion.
Whoa.
I'm going to say $16 billion.
Whoa.
No. You're too high, you're too low. 12.2 billion.
Hold on now.
Was projected for 2030.
I was pretty close. I did go over, but
you busted. You busted.
I busted, but dang, I was pretty close for a guess.
That was pretty good. But they also said that 68% of Americans plan to hand out candy to trick-or-treaters. 60% of parents help themselves to some of their children's Halloween haul. This says that it was $7 and some change was the average retail price of a pumpkin. which was up 22% from 2021.
Oh, yeah, pumpkin carving.
Yeah.
That was something I only started
Pumpkin
doing.
shot up. Pumpkin prices shot
I
up.
don't think
That
I've
was
ever
only
carved a pumpkin.
I've done it a few times, but it was definitely something I started doing, like, only recently.
Like whenever you were an adult who could make that decision for yourself.
Last year, I made a pumpkin that was a really sad face. And then I carved out the inside and made it smooth on the inside. And then I put it on my head.
I feel like that's a really
Like a
trendy
helmet.
internet
Yeah.
video thing to do. Like you wait till it's like kind of dusk and all the leaves are different colors,
Mhm.
and then you put on a flannel and a pumpkin on your
That's
head.
literally what
You
I
take
did.
pictures. Yep.
These are my Instagram. This is my
It was
Instagram
incredible.
pumpkin.
Predictable.
And then I had a friend who put on a bed sheet to make her look like a ghost and like some sunglasses.
Yep.
And then we took a photo shoot, and it was like, I think the caption was, "When your ghost girlfriend breaks up with you the night before Halloween," or something like that.
When your ghost girlfriend breaks up with you.
When she ghosts you.
Oh.
Very Gen Z of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here's another statistic that I thought was hilarious. Terrible, but hilarious. $13 million in direct property damage caused by Halloween house fires each year.
Well, you got to think of all this extra nonsense people plugging into their house. I'm sure that there's probably a pretty high number around Christmas time, too. You just put so much
Really?
extra nonsense into your house for a holiday. Your house isn't built to put out that much electricity.
Can I share a story about Halloween decorations?
Yes.
No.
So,
Which 53% of Americans plan to decorate their house for Halloween.
taking it back to Hayden in Arizona, before she was in Arizona, she was here where we are. And
Way to dox Aiden. Hey, Hayden. Way to dox Hayden, but not yourself. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job.
So, as a kid, when I went to spend the night at her house for the first time, it was around Halloween. And so they had decorations up. And, like, we never decorated for Halloween. Or, like, I was so, like, not used to Halloween decorations.
Now, do you think that was because of your Christian background or the fact that you can't see your house from the road?
I think it was the fact that my mom was very much like, no. Like, she didn't. Well, we didn't really decorate that.
I was kidding.
Yeah, but to Janelle's,
No.
for those who didn't know, our childhood home, you didn't need to decorate it. It's spooky enough.
That's true. The amount of friends
It's
that
on
were
a
like,
hill in the middle
"Mom,
of the
can you come
woods
pick
with a
me up?"
long driveway, and there's no lights. So
funny.
anyone, yeah, we never got trick-or-treaters growing
No,
up.
we didn't.
Never. One, because
Well-
we're on a side road, but two, no
Okay.
one would walk up our driveway.
So my grandmother's house growing up is 2 houses from yours. That's how we met. I think
Correct.
we talked about that.
Yep.
She never got trick-or-treaters, and her front yard was wide open.
Yeah, it was just the
So you could see it.
Yeah, but it was also a really long driveway.
It was
That-
really
that's
long,
true.
longer than
That's
ours.
true.
Anyway, so she had these Halloween decorations that were motion censored. They were these like severed heads that would like they were on like a ledge by the front door. And so they were motion censored and would talk when there was like someone at your door. And so I remember the very first time going to her house, I was standing there with Dad and the heads started talking. And then all of a sudden she opened the door right as the head started talking. So I had like one jump scare from this Halloween decoration and then a second jump scare from her like ripping the door open and like kind of just going like, hey, like out of screaming and then like running away from the door. And I looked at my dad. I was like, maybe I don't want to spend the night.
And then that was why she moved to Arizona.
Yes.
Can I just, you know what stat I want to know? Is how many Halloween decorations, like house decorations, trigger PTSD for veterans? That's what I want to know.
Ooh.
How many of them are bombs going off?
Well, but no, just the jump will
Oh, I
startle
see.
you and trigger you into a panic attack,
Right.
you know, because a lot of stuff, it's not like people are blowing up, but I mean, like, a lot of it has to do with just the trauma of
The-
surprise and attack,
Mhm.
you know, in the field
Yeah, like
doing
your Fight or
things.
flight.
It's just the trauma of action. And then just things will set you off and you have high anxiety and stuff. So I want to know how many veterans does it affect?
I feel like
I'm not a veteran, but I definitely get affected. I jump very, very easily at
Halloween creates
Halloween
PTSD.
decorations.
I would have loved to had you on last week's episode talking about the haunted houses as well. We're not going to get into that, but
I've
just
never been, and I don't know if I will.
I'm not jumpy, but I think you would do awful in one of those.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Yeah, well, listen to last week's episode, and then you'll
Okay.
learn something.
I do want to bring up, so this is the number one thing that I have against Halloween. So this statistic page that I have for 2023, 1.4 million children planned to dress up as a witch, compared to 5.8 million adults plan to dress up as a witch.
Dang.
So a lot of people are dressing up as witches, and here's the deal. That goes into kind of what we were talking about last week with this stuff's real and it is demonic. So there's a lot of things that revolve around Halloween that are kind of ambiguous, and you kind of got to, as a family, make your own decisions. But this is something, thank you. I have my Bible upside down.
Turn around.
Yeah. But this is something that is directly like, no. It's not an ambiguous thing like, yeah, you can dress up as a witch and it's not a big deal, or no, you can't dress up as a witch. It's flat out no. Practicing witchcraft, it is a no as a Christian. You cannot get into the demonic spiritual side of things because we're called to be in the light as Christ is in the light, and the things that happen in Wiccan are of Satan.
Mm-hmm.
So the Bible verse that I have for that is Deuteronomy. It's Deuteronomy 18. And it is, I had it and now I gotta find it. I hate when I do this.
Are you in
Okay,
chapter?
there's
Are you in the book of Deuteronomy?
I'm in the book of
Are
Deuteronomy.
you in chapter 18?
I am in chapter 18.
All right, then you need to find your verse.
I believe it's 10 and 11.
Okay.
So there shall not be found among you anyone who maketh his son or his daughter pass through the fire, or who useth divination, or any observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter of mediums, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord, and because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee. So, Deuteronomy, Old Testament, a lot of people like to play the bad God card, or mean, evil God. Old Testament God's a mean God, and it's not true. Deuteronomy has a lot of law for his new nation of Israel who's coming into the land, and he's setting the ground rules for, hey, do not practice these practices. Do not do these things because they are anti-me. Practicing witchcraft, practicing divination, practicing, mediums going into the spiritual realm, summoning spirits, all these different things. These are things that are done with a lack of trust in God. I'm like, I don't trust God. I don't need God. I can do this on my own. I can look into the spiritual realm and pull out what I need to pull out for myself. And it's taking trust away from trusting in God and trusting in yourself. And it also locks hands with human sacrifice. Let me make that clear. All those practices, witchcraft, mediums, divination, necromancy, it all locks hands with human sacrifice. In the time that Israel was coming into the land, there was a lot of human sacrifice, specifically children. People would offer their children unto different gods for their own selfish, sacred purposes. And they would use some of the byproduct of human sacrifice for their rituals, witch rituals, necromancy, divinations, all those things. Today it's hidden pretty good, but if you really get into the deep occult stuff, like the really hardcore guys, they're looking for human things, blood, body parts and stuff. for their cultural rituals. So it's still practiced today. It's not happening on the street, as far as we know.
Well,
not here.
depends on where you are.
Yeah, some places it is on the street, but the point is that it is a practice that has no regard for the sacredness of God, including his sacred creation, humanity. God created us in his image, and he made it very clear it's an abomination to kill unrighteously. Just to kill someone to kill somebody, or to kill someone for selfish ambition is wrong. God makes that clear. He doesn't like death to begin with. It's something that he had to bring into the world for justice. And so, because God's a just God, and so he takes it very seriously. The shedding of human blood can only be done in a righteous scenario. Otherwise, it's wrong. The only reason it has to be done right, the only reason it's tolerable right for a righteous is because of sin. Like if someone's a sinner and is attacking God or rejecting God's authority by fighting against God, God has to. It's not that he rejoices in it or gets joy out of it. God has to be a just God, and he has to exact judgment on wrongdoing, on breaking the law.
Isn't it typically, too, in large numbers that's happening? It's not a lot of cases. I know it, individuals, but a lot of times it is large groups, the whole world in the beginning with the flood in Sodom and Gomorrah, whole city. It's large people that are destroyed.
Large groups of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not anyone's innocent, because we get to see that in the story with Sodom and Gomorrah. The entire valley's wiped out. But Abraham intercedes with God, asking if he'll spare the city if he finds a minimum of 5 righteous people. Or is it 10?
Well, it keeps on going.
Yeah,
down.
he started
It's going down, but I think he cuts that off at 5 or 10. I'll have to go back and look.
It's 5.
But the point is, there's not even 5 people that fear God in the entire valley of Sodom and Gomorrah. And so God does not withhold his righteousness, but he plucks out Lot, which is Abraham's nephew.
Right.
Yeah, he pulls him out from the wicked city. But once again, it's not like everyone. It's not like there's a lot of good people that just get caught in the crossfire.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is bad. They're hurting each other. There's murder. There's rape.
Slapping each other with fish.
Slapping each other.
It's a VeggieTales
I was about to say,
reference.
is that a VeggieTales?
That was Nineveh.
My bad.
Anyways, yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff that was happening. So God has to make judgments. But today, dude, I'm not going to shy away from it. We are practicing human sacrifice in abortions. Planned Parenthood is just the temple where people go to offer their babies up for their own selfishness. And then those babies are not just being like disposed of. They're using those parts for wickedness. You got to go through some channels, but you can buy human parts for things. So
gross.
It's disgusting, and it's an abomination, and God says, have nothing to do with it. So that's my big thing. I know it's kind of a tangent going downhill for trick-or-treating, but don't dress up as a witch. Have nothing to do with the occult is what I'm trying to get at, because it is very real and it is very active in the world today. And we may have to talk about in week 7 or 8, Harry Potter, because that's another big thing that Christians battle.
Well, I mean, I guess, aren't we planning on doing? So we did haunted houses, trick-or-treating, and then let's do media in general, Halloween media.
Okay.
And so that'll fall into that.
We'll lump it in there with everything else.
Yeah.
Because it really is media that
That's
makes
part of it,
wicked and evil things more palatable. When you take a witch
and make her Hermione Granger,
and then you make it a cute little,
you protagonize it, you make it nice, and it's
Make it cute.
Yeah.
Even,
Make it the hero.
what is it? Studio Ghibli, Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah.
She's a witch.
Yeah.
She's a little girl. But she's like, yeah, I'm practicing to be a witch.
Yeah.
And it's a super cute movie. And then that's just in it. So that's definitely...
Yeah, so we'll get on that next week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
crazy. And the amount of people that really don't realize that witchcraft still...
Mm-hmm.
It's very thriving. I think there's a fad of people... with people in my generation specifically
Yeah.
being super into the occult, probably because the internet makes it a bit more
The internet makes
accessible.
anything also like they memify it, so it's a joke. It's silly little things. It's not something that's harmful to you.
Yeah. So the internet, we've talked about this. It can be a great tool for the gospel, but it can also be a facilitator of darkness. It's taken these niche, really small, obscure groups and given them an avenue to explode and reach people in ways they were never able to. So things like the alphabet community, the furry community, all these things that are like, hey, like God didn't create you that way.
Right.
You are beautiful in the way God created you. You don't need to find affirmation from other people. Find it in God because he loves you. He loves you way more than anyone else could. But these communities are pretty good about picking out vulnerable people and targeting them and then adopting them into their groups. And that's what a lot of Wiccan is. A lot of them aren't even openly like, I worship Satan. It's not that for them. They worship the earth. They worship just things in creation because they don't believe in the existence of God, or they believe everything is God. And so they worship everything because everything is God. There is the small group that is like, yeah, no, Satan's real and I serve him. But most of people inside of Wiccan are just...
No, that's not what I do. I'm not a
worshiper.
witch. I'm a Wiccan,
Yeah, but the idea is it's earth worship. Like, I'm going to worship creation or things in creation.
I knew a girl who was in my small group at church, and she mentioned that, like, she kind of had a kick of witchcraft because she felt like she didn't quite fit in with people at church, and she was tempted by the community that came along with witchcraft. She was like, oh, being a part of a coven, that sounds kind of cool because I get to dress up and, wear flower crowns and dance around in the field and, I don't know, do little magic. So it was like...
Which Christians can do too.
Christians can do.
Dress up and wear flower crowns and dance in fields praising Jesus.
Amen. And that's what she did with us at the small group. So that was good. She had a very good story. But there are so many people who... for this, that, or the other, don't find a connection within a Christian community, so they try to find it somewhere else.
And if that's you, if you're struggling to find community in Christ, I want to introduce you to Saints That Serve.
Come on.
We're here to be your community. Join us.
When you're handing out your trick-or-treat candy, instead of giving them candy, give them a piece of paper with a QR code on it that leads them to the Saints That Serve website.
Well, now we got to print a bunch of them. Thanks. No, but seriously though, if you're lacking community, reach out. We want to plug you in and we want to be a part of your life. We want you to know the love of Jesus, and you don't have to go somewhere where someone's going to drag you into the darkness of the world to feel accepted. We accept you here as you are because Christ accepts you as you are and wants to reveal the truth and wants to reveal true love to you and give you that birth in the Spirit. We talked about that at church today, being born again in the Spirit. And that's what God has extended to humanity. You can be born again and free from sin and death and live in the Spirit. And that's where the true joy comes from, is being in the presence of God. God loves you and he wants to redeem you. So come on board.
That's something that I love about Christian community, specifically in opposition to other groups and communities, is because, most groups nowadays you hear preaching this, well, we accept you as you are message. But with what comes with Christianity is, yes, come as you are, but don't leave as you were. Like, you come and then you're transformed. Like, as you behold Jesus, as you look at Jesus, we come together and we walk this road of becoming more like Jesus together. So I hope that, you know, anyone who comes in contact with me who is a fellow believer, they leave that meeting more encouraged and chasing after the Lord even more and becoming holier. And so it's almost like, well, yeah, come as you are, but who's to say, like...
But we want you to improve.
Well, we also want you to improve rather than just like, oh, you're miserable? Okay.
We want you
Stay that way.
We want you to live in the identity that you were created to have. You were created to be a child of God. And so we want you to live in that identity, not in this depressed, full of anxiety, self-centered lifestyle that the world preaches. Cool. I've got a game for us to play.
I love games.
It's a mini game. It's called Guess My Nostalgia. Okay?
Let's do this.
I love nostalgia.
Okay, so Jairus and I have already had time to think about this, and I've got our answers.
Why didn't you reach out to her? Why didn't you?
That's okay. I'm quick on
Well,
my...
because originally the way I was thinking, like, the way we're gonna play this is Janelle has to answer all of them. But I guess she could play too.
What?
Like, I guess you could be like, guess my nostalgia.
Ooh.
But
okay, so let's do it. Hold on, let's do it. Let's do it how you built it, and then after the questions are asked, then we have to guess her
run it
answer.
on her. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Question number 1, and this is you're answering. Well, they're separate for each of us.
So I have to guess what your answer would be and what your answer would
Yeah.
be?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So, what is my favorite superhero? You can guess for me first.
Oh,
No,
I feel like
no
you
hints.
don't talk about superheroes that much.
I
but
still
Jairus
have a favorite one.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
I guess maybe.
Marvel or DC?
Oh yeah, Marvel.
Marvel? Okay.
Same for me.
Marvel.
Both of them.
Jairus is going to be like super niche and obscure. I already know it.
Okay. Just throw a guess. out.
Throw a guess. You said Marvel?
Mm-hmm. Just name one.
The Hulk. No.
All right. Do you want to try and guess?
One of your sons.
Do you want to try and guess Jairus real quick?
There's this one character that I think is a superhero that I think you were obsessed with. I don't think it was Marvel. I think it was some other.
Oh, you're talking about Watchmen.
Yeah, Watchmen.
But that's not. He likes that series, but that's not his favorite.
Oh, okay.
It's funny as I almost put that.
Yes, I knew the answer that
I almost put that.
better than you.
But I'm like, no one's going to know who that is. So I changed it to this.
Well, okay.
Because I also really like
No, I'm
this
not
hero.
going to know. Spider-Man. I don't know.
Ding ding ding
It
ding.
is. I put-
Really?
yeah.
Yes.
I put down Spider-Man.
Yep. My
What was
answer
yours?
was Thor.
Oh, I should have known that.
That makes sense.
I
Like,
should have.
I feel like that's written on my face. I'm
That's
not a big
true.
like superhero guy,
Yeah.
but yeah. Okay. Question number 2. Favorite Super Smash Bro character? Not Brawl, just Super Smash.
Oh, in general? Or,
That's the one you gave me, right? Or is that
so,
wrong?
No, the one I gave you is from the most recent game has every character in the
That's
past
the
game.
most recent game.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Okay, we'll go with Super Smash Brothers.
Because that unifies
Yeah, that definitely
all-
helps me
all
with my
possible
answer.
Me, someone who has never
Yeah,
played
yeah,
this
yeah,
game
yeah.
before.
No, I played it.
Okay,
It's been a long time though.
what do you think Jairus' favorite Super Smash Ultimate
Janelle,
character is?
look me in the eye
Uh-huh.
and truly think about this. Because if you don't get it, you'll be really upset.
Princess Peach.
I like the way she floats.
I like her umbrella.
What is it?
Oh, go guess John's first.
Okay. I'm gonna go speed round. Kirby.
Oh, that's a really good guess. I almost put that down, but no. Okay. The only reason is because that's like my second pick every time I play.
Oh, okay.
It's Kirby.
Is it because he's pink?
No,
'Cause
it's
he goes,
because he's
"Nope,
really
nope,
easy
nope."
to play.
Yeah, he is.
I can be any character with this character.
I'm just gonna suck you in and spit you out every time.
All right. Are you Mario?
Am I Mario?
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Is
You're close though.
Luigi?
No.
Okay.
Wario?
No.
Is that a character?
Yeah.
No.
Mhm.
Okay. Mine is Donkey Kong.
Okay, hold on. Okay, now you're gonna be mad. Think about it. One more try. It's not hard. Truly think about it.
What is a part of Jairus' identity?
A part of your identity?
It's not
I
hard.
feel like
You're
I
overthinking.
feel like you decorate your house with this.
Yes.
And yet it's blanking from
She can't.
Yoshi?
What?
I don't know.
Janelle, they added Sora as a character in Kingdom.
Oh my gosh. I literally in my head I was like, is it a Kingdom Hearts?
Yes, it
character?
is.
Is it Goofy?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yuck.
Oh boy.
Yeah, like that was
Is
like
it the two little kids that are annoying and
No, it's literally Sora from Kingdom
Okay.
Hearts.
All right, I thought those were gonna be the easy ones.
sorry.
All right, question number 3.
hmm
What is my favorite pizza at Stevie B's Pizza?
Okay. Is it the potato pizza
I was literally going to say potato.
For me,
for you?
you that's what it's for me. Or for
Oh, by the way, real quick, anybody listening, Stevie B's is a local pizza place.
Yeah, we grew up going to Steve.
It's kind of southeast. It's kind of dwindled back down to just one spot for the most part now. But it is an all-you-can-eat pizza buffet, and they've got a bunch of different kinds of.
We
like
also have a
niche,
games
unique.
room.
Yes.
Yeah, very small arcade. Anyways, okay, so you think mine is potato pizza?
Yeah.
Ding 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 ding.
Yay!
All right, and for Jairus, what do you think Jairus' favorite? Pizza?
Jairus' favorite pizza from Stevie B's is the s'mores dessert pizza.
Actually, that is an option, right?
I put hot wings pizza and s'mores pizza.
Yay! Let's go.
There you go. Good job. Look at that.
I loved the mac and cheese pizza.
That is a good one.
I
haven't been to
almost
Stevie
put
B's
that,
in a
but
long
last time I had it, it wasn't that good.
Wah, wah.
So-
Okay, conspiracy theory. Stevie B's serves pasta, and yet it's different pasta than the pasta they put on their mac and cheese pizza.
I
Why
think
is that?
Probably because it's like probably pre-made pizza.
Oh,
I don't know about that because it's the
ever
swirlies.
think about it?
We were just there last week, and now I'm
It's
having
the
to.
straight. So if you
I'm
get
having
the
to
pasta
envision
with
in my mind.
the really watery white sauce, then it's like straight like penne pasta.
Well, no. There's two kinds of noodles.
Really?
They have two noodles,
Oh,
and
there
then they
is
have
this-
two sauces. And the mac and cheese pizza that they make has the swirly noodles.
Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know.
Maybe you need to eat there more.
Maybe I need to go back.
Janelle, get up. You've tripped.
Yeah. Good one. All right. Question number 4.
Okay.
And people should know what Dairy Queen is.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
That is not a local.
I feel like we've already mentioned Dairy Queen
Okay,
so much.
but for context, Dairy Queen was the local spot for ice cream for us growing up. Like that, it hit.
There's
You
a
know what I
Regal
mean?
Shenanigans
It-
video filmed at Dairy Queen.
Yeah, but it hit home. Dairy Queen is like
Mhm.
the oh yeah, I'm going to Dairy Queen to get a dip cone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyways, favorite Dairy Queen Blizzard.
Favorite Dairy Queen Blizzard. There's a lot of Blizzard flavors.
There are, but mine's super basic.
Is it a Reese's Cup Blizzard?
No.
Um,
What do you think Jairus's is?
Probably something weird with nuts or something.
Why?
Macadamian.
like a,
My favorite
a
BQ,
southern
BQ
pecan.
Blizzard is the s'mores Blizzard. It comes with a little Sora toy in it.
Yours is. I don't even know if this is a flavor, but I'm just gonna say it. Strawberry cheesecake blizzard.
Strawberry. No.
That is a flavor, though.
Is it?
Is
that
it?
sounds.
That actually sounds
amazing.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, that's not it. His is Butterfingers.
Oh, I was gonna say that.
You should have said it then.
I should have said it.
Should just go with what's on your gut.
Yeah.
And then mine's
Your
Oreo.
food's in my gut.
That's why I said it. Mine's
Oh,
super
Oreo
basic.
is really basic.
Oreo's really
I was
basic.
thinking too hard.
Really good.
Yeah.
I was
Don't
thinking too
again.
deep
I
into
feel
it.
like your problem with these questions when answering them is you're overthinking it.
That's just my problem in life, Jairus. So thanks for bringing that up.
No problem.
Thanks for exposing me and making me vulnerable. All right. Question number 5. Favorite Marvel movie?
Favorite Marvel movie.
Here's my hint. It does not have my favorite superhero in it.
Okay. There's also a lot of Marvel movies.
There are.
I'm going to say... Oh, I've seen all of them. I'm going to say Johnny's is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
Okay. No.
Okay, can I make a guess?
Yeah, go for it.
Thor Ragnarok.
Wow, he got it.
No, I was literally thinking Thor Ragnarok. I need to just go with my first guess.
Cool, you were talking about
Gosh.
Thor.
Yeah, that's
I was like, oh, I wonder if it's Thor Ragnarok. That's a great movie.
It's a good movie.
That director is a really good director.
Except
Well,
when
he
he did
did-
Love and Thunder.
Yeah, he didn't do a great job.
Okay, not Love and Thunder, but his New Zealand films are incredible.
A lot of them are.
What We Do in the Shadows.
No.
That was the first R-rated movie I watched, and it was at your house.
Oh, don't bring that up.
Sorry. Sorry,
It's
Mom.
just-
We are redeemed.
Well, but it's because those New
And forgiven.
Zealanders have potty mouths.
It's true.
That's why it was rated R.
Okay, Jairus's favorite Marvel.
We're werewolves, not swearwolves.
It's incredible. Jairus's favorite Marvel movie is the very first Avengers movie.
I did enjoy that movie, and
Wait, the Incredible Hulk?
No.
Oh, you
Avengers.
mean the Avengers?
Avengers Assemble.
no. I'll give you another guess. I'll give you a hint.
Did we go to see it in theaters together?
No.
Okay.
My favorite Marvel movie is part of the core 5 or 6. What was it? 6 original Avengers.
Is it the is it one of the Iron Man movies?
It is not one of the Iron Man.
Oh man.
No. It's Captain America.
Captain
Winter Soldier.
America Winter Soldier.
That is
really
the best.
the one with the elevator scene
Oh my god.
going up.
So good. Such a good movie.
All
That is
right,
pretty good.
last one.
Okay.
Question number 6. Favorite cartoon to watch when you were a kid? Your go-to for me, I know, is going to be a PBS show, but hint is it's not a PBS show.
As a kid,
As a kid,
what age range are we talking about?
I don't know, like we'll go 8 to 12.
Is it Bible Man?
That wasn't a cartoon.
Oh, you're right. That's not.
Oh, I'm glad you said that because that low-key was going to be my answer. Johnny loved Bible Man.
Bible Man was good, but it wasn't a cartoon. It was like
I loved as a child watching Attack on
I
Titan.
should have made that my favorite superhero, Bible Man.
Bible Man.
But for reals though,
For realsies,
go
seriously.
back and watch some of the Bible Man movies. They hit pretty good.
Your favorite show was Superbook.
Superbook?
Yeah.
Never seen Super.
Superbook is the Bible.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Jairus first because I feel like I know his answer more.
Mm-hmm.
Yours was
Hold on. Hint.
What?
I'm gonna give you a hint.
And that a favorite show.
My favorite cartoon watching as a child it is a very long running series.
Yes.
Very
Very old.
Yeah.
Very old.
Very old, very long running series.
Yeah, Betty Boop. No, sorry.
Tom and Jerry. Yours is. Oh, okay. I have top 3 answers.
just one.
One.
Just go with your gut.
Hold on, you get 2 guesses. Pick-
Okay, number 1, Pokemon.
No,
Not that old.
Oh.
not that old. Think older.
that just came out when we were kids.
Oh, really?
That came out in the 90s.
Yeah, Pokemon come out in 98.
Okay.
This is significantly older.
Significantly?
Yeah, significantly older.
Because my other guess was
And
gonna
again,
be...
long running. They still make this cartoon.
My guess was gonna be One Piece.
No. One Piece again?
That's not a kid's cartoon.
Is it not? I don't
Not
know.
really. Again,
My
One
other
Piece come
my
out in the
third,
90s.
My third one was going to be Dragon Ball Z.
No, again.
I don't know what you
Still-
watched
still
as
not
a
old-
child,
still-
Jairus. I wasn't alive.
All right. Well, but
Here, hold on.
the point
They
is
started.
just my nostalgia.
Okay, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
You are closer in this. You were closer with Tom and Jerry, Betty Boop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're closer with those.
What's that one British one? Claymation. Is it Claymation?
You are so far away.
No.
Looney Tunes. That's
Looney
it's,
I watched so much Looney Tunes as a child.
I would not have guessed that.
Looney Tunes started in the 20s.
Dang. I really just watched
black
Looney
and white
Tunes
cartoon.
back in action.
We kept on throwing you a life preserver, and you kept on swimming away from
No,
it.
I insist on drowning, guys.
Anime. Jairus likes anime.
I'm gonna be Jack in this scenario.
Again, childhood is the key word there.
Okay.
I don't know
Here's
what they played in the 90s.
here's the clue for mine. Okay, so growing up, we had local channels. We had like 5 channels. This came on once a week, like in the middle of the day.
I say, hey.
No, it's not a PBS. It's
Oh,
not a
that's
PBS
right.
cartoon. And we barely picked the channel up. All right, it wasn't a super long. And they only had a couple of seasons, but we watched every single time it came out. We watched it.
I got a feeling me and Janelle would have never heard of this show for some reason.
Probably not. But it is related to Pixar. That gave it away right there.
To Pixar?
Mm-hmm. But it's a cartoon.
Wow, that threw me.
I feel like it's not related to Pixar.
It's related to Pixar.
Related
Does that
to
mean Pixar's like come out with a movie with that?
I'm not going to elaborate. It's related to Pixar, and it's a cartoon series.
Gosh. I was going to say something, but now I have no idea what to say.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I think this was a book series, not a cartoon.
Oh, is it Redwall?
How is that related to Pixar?
I don't know.
I was going to say, what is it called? The Adventures Odyssey or something like that?
The Lord of the Rings
That did not come on
cartoon.
TV.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Lord of the Rings cartoon that came out in the 70s. Wasn't a TV series. That was just a movie.
Pixar.
All right, we give up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Buzz Lightyear of Star.
What? I was not going to guess that.
It was the only Disney cartoon that did not come on the Disney Channel.
Do you
How
know?
has that stuck out in your
crazy.
mind enough now that you remember it? And I've never heard of this in my whole life.
Because for what short time it came out, it was the only PBS cartoon that we got to watch, and it came out on a weekday, on I think it was a Thursday. It came out Thursday afternoon at 4:00. It's the only time that we got to watch TV during the week. It was a little bit more relaxed when you came into the
Right.
picture. TV was, but when I was a kid, the TV was not on during the day, during the week, unless Lost was on.
Right. No,
Then the whole family gathered around and watched the
gathered
episode
and
of
we
Lost.
watched Lost, and I would stand behind the couch because I was 4 years old watching Lost, and so I'd be terrified. So I would just kind of crouch behind the couch and then peek up once I thought it was okay.
Janelle wish she was lost whenever that show came on.
I was.
Well, let me take that back. So the TV was only on growing up during the day, either for Buzz Lightyear Star Command once a week, or whenever Mom and Dad were not home and our oldest brother would watch Jerry Springer.
Wait, what? That's
He would
crazy.
turn on Jerry Springer to watch, and he'd be like, "You guys can't watch TV, leave." And we'd be like, "What the heck,
What?
dude?"
See,
So-
I was the tattletale sometimes. Well, no, not all the time. But on the weekends, they would play Hannah Montana reruns, and I would be like, we're not allowed to watch Hannah Montana. And so but the sisters would ignore me. And then I would go tell Dad, and he was like, whatever.
So let me tell you this. So the guy who voiced Buzz Lightyear in that show was Patrick Warburton, the guy who voices Krunk in Emperor's New Groove.
What?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That guy's a legend.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He is also the guy who does the opening for Soaring
Soaring the Ride.
the ride Soaring.
Great.
Boys,
He's like,
who's goes?
all right, boys, buckle up.
Yeah, he's the pilot. He comes out and gives the pilot intro.
Mm-hmm.
The poison for Cusco.
Okay, so yeah, guess my nostalgia.
So I guess I didn't do that great of a job.
You did all
it's
right.
okay. Another
hey,
one of
look-
my top cartoons was from the Cartoon Network, and it was Samurai Jack. Which they took how long did they take to close it out?
So they ended on a season 4, and it took them like 15.
randomly. They randomly
Just come out like, yeah, we're going to finish out the story where before the show on Samurai Jack was kind of like a monster of the week, like single episode stories, and they kind of had an overall arching story. Out of the blue, they're just like, and now we're going to make 10 episode season 5 to close out this whole story. The villain of that show was voiced by the guy who voiced Uncle Iroh in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Aww.
Yeah, so like when he came back because he died, they come back. I think it was the guy who did his voice, the new guy who did Uncle Iroh's voice at the end of the book season 3 or whatever. Is the same guy who voiced him in season 5 of Samurai Jack.
Wow.
But like the first 4 seasons of Samurai Jack are like late 90s, early 2000s. So the audience is young.
Mm-hmm.
They
So
finished
then
out the story in like 2016, 2015 is when they came out with season 5.
Yeah.
And it was
The
like,
audience was adults.
so it came on Adult Swim. It was hyper violent,
Yeah.
Right.
but it was
Remember
really
that.
good.
It was a really
I remember watching that because we had everybody over to finish it out.
Yeah, we
And-
downloaded all the episodes. We were
Big
in the
watch
trailer,
party. Yeah.
party trailer.
Yeah. And the finale
Party
was
trailer.
just with being vague because it should be watched. The ending is depressing, and I remember it ends, and John gets up and he's like, "You all suck. This was awful. I'm going home."
Even though you're
And then I walked
going
into
to your
the bedroom
bedroom.
and closed the door. Yeah.
But it was such a good show.
I would just want to make that claim here and now on the podcast. When my wife and I lived in the trailer, I didn't realize that when we lived there, but there was a lot of people coming in and out of our house all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because that was our first house together as a married couple, young married couple. And I don't know. I mean, you were there like what, like twice a week?
So your house, compared to me, was about a 45-minute drive from where I was living, but it was also close to our then church and our then job. So I would just go over to your house or whatever after church or on the weekends.
You
And
had
we
your
just-
own bedroom.
Yeah, I did. And
I
mean,
also would be in that bedroom.
and then I would stay there some nights and just go to work the next day
Yeah. Yeah.
because of how close it was to that then job. Because how many times have we worked together at a job? At the pizza place twice, and then the parts repair place.
Yeah.
So
I think that's it. I mean, and then obviously, we were youth leaders
yeah,
of the church. That's not really a job.
I don't count anything I don't get paid as a job.
Yeah, I don't really look at ministry as a job either. I know you do work, but I don't look at it as a
Career.
give and take
Yeah.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, cool.
Cute.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Real quick, I'm going to rapid fire this. Janelle's. Let's see if I get any of these right. Give me a
Are you
second.
guessing mine?
Yeah. Favorite superhero. Spider-Man.
Oh.
Favorite Super Smash Brothers. Kirby. Favorite pizza at Stevie B's. Macaroni and cheese. Favorite Blizzard at Dairy Queen.
You're not letting her answer.
I'm going to rapid fire and then.
She's not going to remember all.
Yeah,
of them.
I'm not gonna.
Okay, just say I got them all right then. Okay, start over. You said no to Spider-Man, so it's going to be Loki.
No.
Okay.
That's not is that a superhero? It's like
I
an
mean-
anti-hero.
Yeah.
He has his own show, so he is a hero.
I need a hero.
So Smash Brothers character Kirby.
Yeah.
Yes. Favorite pizza at Stevie B's, hot wing pizza.
No.
Okay. Favorite Blizzard at Dairy Queen, Oreo.
My go-to was Butterfinger actually for a long time.
Okay.
I haven't been in a long time.
Rewind. Okay. Butterfinger.
Ding ding ding.
Got it. All right. Favorite Marvel superhero movie. I'm going to say.
Wait.
gotta think about it.
I've seen a lot of them. All of them.
Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2.
No.
Okay. Favorite
What was
cartoon.
the one I didn't see in theaters actually?
What was that cartoon about Edgar Allan Poe that you loved watching?
Huh?
Yeah, it was. Well, it
Now
was.
that is niche.
No, hold on. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do, and that was like a phase that I had.
I remember you watching that a lot.
Yeah, I'm going through my Edgar.
So it was like
No, literally, I had an Edgar Allan Poe phase.
Well, there was like it wasn't Edgar Allan Poe. It was like
It was like characters in the show were based off of his poem.
Mm-hmm. And I remember bringing that up to you, and you're like, "Nuh-uh, nuh-uh," because like I think you would have gotten in trouble.
No, I definitely would have. It was
But it was like it was like that gothic.
It was a gothic style.
Gothic style, and like his bird, like it was a female.
There were 3 crows, and their names were Edgar Allan and Poe.
That's what.
Yeah.
But it was like just like some.
That's not my favorite though.
Okay, what's your favorite show?
So
As a child,
when I was thinking about it, 2 answers came to mind, but I chose the one that was like the most long-standing. Avatar: Last Airbender was definitely. We watched it like all the time. Like as soon as we would finish watching book 3, we would restart book 1. But honorable mention was a show that Johnny and I watched together quite a bit, which was the Jackie Chan Adventures.
I loved that show as a child.
Dude.
It was so good. I randomly, like a year ago or something.
Chinese response to Pokemon.
I like randomly found it on some, I think it was like Amazon Prime or
We
something.
got to get all the Zodiac.
And it was
talismans.
still good. It was still good.
It's still a good show. And it's so funny to me that they didn't just get Jackie Chan to voice his character. It's literally Jackie Chan, like,
They couldn't afford it.
but he's in the show at the end of every episode. They interview him and he talks about things that happen in the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, it
like-
wasn't his voice for Jackie?
No, it was some completely different
Oh,
person.
I know why. You want to know why?
Why?
Because Jackie Chan's English is not as
I
good
guess
as it
that's
could
probably
been too
true.
hard.
They needed someone who had good English, but had a little bit of a Chinese accent.
Especially for
Jackie Chan is a
animated-
hard Chinese accent with
Mhm.
decent English.
especially for like an animated series rather than live
I
action.
used to watch that a lot as well.
That was fun.
Okay, what was the Gothic cartoon you watched a lot?
No.
No.
Avatar: Last Airbender was my favorite.
No. Okay,
Yeah, but what was that
What
cartoon?
were you? The Edgar Allan Poe thing. I have no idea what you guys.
Honestly, don't remember what the name of it was, but it was about this girl. It was a Gothic animation style.
Is it Extraordinary? Is that the name of it?
No,
Oh.
it was her name, I think.
Was it a?
And she would go. She
TV
had
show?
friends.
Or was
it was
it
on? I
good?
watched it on Netflix. It had episodes. And it was like she would go around to her friends to try to like help them with their problems, but all of her friends were like kind of crazy. Like this one girl,
And that girl is.
Caressa girl. She had a rain cloud over her like all the time, and she would just cry.
Aw.
That was when I was going through puberty, and I was so all over the place. And I was
Look
like,
at me, guys. I'm
Yeah.
so edgy.
I'm edgy. I like Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of
Puberty's a weird thing for all
Yeah.
of us.
I watched a lot of TV as a kid, so I have a lot
I
of.
wore sweatbands when I was coming of age.
I can't find it in my minimum searching.
We would just no, but it wasn't just me. It was everybody, in our circle. But we would have sweatbands like for your wrists.
Uh-huh.
And we wear them like quarter arm or whatever.
Wait,
Not for like sweat, like just
Just to look cool.
just as decor.
Yeah, guys, look at me. I work out.
No, it was because they were cheaper than actual bracelets, and so we would get them and wear them. Yeah.
Something funny about our family, because there's so many of us, I felt like everyone had to have their thing when it came to like how they dressed to like stand out. Would you agree with that?
I'll agree with it, but at the same time, I don't, because I never looked at that way.
Oh,
Like I
to
never
see it as a way to stand out.
Yeah, I never was like, I'm going to dress this way so that I'm different from all my siblings. I was kind of just like, well, everybody else is wearing black. I guess I'll wear black just because it was like, I want to be a part of my friend group.
I just remember like all of us were very, compared to, I guess, our social circles, we were considered the like, oh, they're wearing
Cool
it. Like
kids.
they're kind of like the trendsetter.
We're the edgy cool kids. All right, we're going to wrap this up with our final thing. Creepypasta.
Oh no.
Creepy pasta.
Today is a very childish one, meaning very child friendly. And it has to do.
Hold on. For those who are listening, what is creepy pasta?
All right.
Elevator pitch, go.
Creepypasta is basically a cryptid of the internet. It is a ominous creature or figure or concept that is posted to the internet, and that's where it exists. It does not actual things in the real world.
Okay,
It
yeah.
exists on the internet, like to the point to where people are like, yeah, it's happening in my computer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's
So like
like-
how people have Bigfoot sightings and alien abductions.
Yeah.
It's the same with creepypastas, but it's only inside their computer.
It's like the Minecraft.
Like they'll be on
Kinda
a
like
form or
Hero
they'll be
Brian.
playing a
Yeah, the
game,
There's
Hero
a
Brian.
Hero
and
Brian.
Minecraft.
which is what our creepypasta
Is it really?
Hero Brian.
Let's go.
I
Yeah.
literally just pulled that out because I know you play a lot of
Yeah,
Minecraft.
yeah.
I was like, what's the one thing she could relate to? Oh, Hero Brian. Oh, cool. Let's talk about it.
So it is Hero Brian. You want to talk about it since you know about it?
No,
Do you know what he does? Like what brought him about?
I just know that he looks like Minecraft Steve, but his eyes are glowing
Glowing white.
white.
Yep, glowing white. All right,
Mhm.
Jairus, do you want to?
I don't know like the details of Hero Brian as much as I know that it's just like one of those things that was created to scare kids who are playing a children's game. Like, I think that like if you're sitting there playing the game, you might see a character off in the distance and it looks like Steve, and it's like he's haunting me, stuff like that. I know that in the patch notes, every time for the longest time, I don't know if they still do this, but anytime you read the patch notes for the newest update for Minecraft, it'd always be, and we removed Hero Brian. It didn't actually mean anything. It's just they added that in the notes to like as a joke.
Right. Well, the great thing about Minecraft is they were very interactive with the
Mhm.
community, and so they would put
Yeah.
Easter eggs and stuff like that.
So Hero Brian, the idea is, he is Steve, but with white glowing eyes, and he would show up in single player games,
In the woods, right?
like
Just anywhere.
to haunt the game. And he had a couple other weird things that he did. But this was made popular it was anonymously posted on a 4chan thread. Talked about 4chan last week.
I feel like
Don't
that's where,
go there.
Yeah, don't go there.
But that's where a lot of creepypastas come into existence. But he is made popular once again by live streamers
Right.
who would allegedly come across him. And it got so popular that people created mods that you could add
Yeah.
Hero Brian into the game.
So I think he kind of acts a bit like a Enderman in the game. To a degree, is like you're not paying attention, you turn around and he's just there.
Yeah, he's there to mess your game up, not necessarily to kill you, but to mess your game.
Yeah. A lot of times when I would see like videos or things, it was often like he would just be standing there, like in the woods far off to
Yeah.
just kind of like freak you out.
So kids, next time you're playing Minecraft, be careful. I know that they said that they patched Hero Brian out.
But why do you think they're constantly having to patch him out?
Why he keeps on getting back into the
He
game.
keeps coming back.
Yeah.
No.
So be on the lookout. Don't go into jungles and you'll be fine.
Don't turn the game on and you'll
Don't
be fine.
mine at night.
Don't mind it.
Don't dig straight down. Wait,
Anyways,
real quick.
Yeah.
I know we just talked about it. For anybody who doesn't know, what is Minecraft?
oh, Minecraft is. No, I'm not gonna try and explain that.
We all
here.
know what Minecraft
Minecraft
is.
is
Open world is an open world
video
player
game.
Video game. You can go and play whatever. It's this open world survival game.
They have a movie coming out with Jack Black in it.
And Jason Momoa.
That movie looks so bad. It looks so bad.
If the parent reviews are good, I'll take my oldest son to go see it. So there you go.
Yep.
Well, that's all I got. Hero Brian, trick or treating. Prayerfully consider what you're going to do as a parent with your kids, and remember that as far as Halloween goes, it is historically a constant battle between the Wiccan community and Christians between Halloween and All Hallows Eve. So, whatever you do it for the glory of the Lord, not to exist in humanity. That's all I got. You want to send us out?
Sure. Go ahead, Janelle.
Roll the D20 dice again.
Well, I'm out of water, so I guess that means it's the end of the episode.
What'd you roll?
11.
Not bad.
That's okay. All right. Go ahead and say goodbye to everyone in whatever language you're learning.
Arigato gozaimasu.
감사합니다. 안녕히 계세요. That's Korean.
South Korean.
And what did you say?
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to the SDS podcast,
The Saints That Serve podcast.
the Saints That Serve podcast.
The Saints That Serve podcast.
Christ is Lord.
And the kingdom is now.
Yeehaw. Please include my yeehaw. That meant a lot to me.
Got it. Cut the yeehaw.